Hola y cómo estás de Goldthorpe? So that's hi, how are you from Goldthorpe in Barnsley, near in Yorkshire, whatever it is. Right, so I've just got back off holidays. This first job that we're doing after I've got back off my jolly holidays. I've been in Spain, as you can tell by my accent. I'm almost fluid in Spanish. So what I want to talk to you about today is preparation. So this is a job that I came to do a report on, and it was a pre-purchase damp and timber report and a survey, and went round it, had a look what were wrong with it, put it in my survey, did a plan, and we came yesterday to start it and started knocking off. And I'm going to tell you about all the problems that we've encountered along the way that we never encounter, because most people that we do jobs for, we tell them what's needed to be prepped before we come, and I want to say 9.99 times out of 10 it's done. But for some reason, and I'll explain in a bit, this job has not been done, so it's holding us up, and we've had problems which we shouldn't have, but I'll explain why in a bit. I've marked all walls up. We've started knocking off some walls, and I've marked all walls up. Well, he's not done in here, but I'll have to do it. He's not done that wall, but the rest of the walls are kind of done. And I'm just going to go through what we've done. So basically, it's more or less a full hack off all the way through. And it was what I suspected when we got the skirtings off. So if you see these gaps here, plaster went all the way down. So the tiled over it, trapped plaster up against wall, which is a bridging issue. We got some sulfates going off on chimney breast. Again, bridging issue. Had gutters leaking on here, so that was partly this problem outside. Gutters have all been done supposedly, but as you can see there, there's something dripping down. We've got some storm drying to do on outside, but like I said, this were down. They had a massive list of things to do, and it's under a section saying what the customer must do prior to site visit. So I'm going to explain to you what in here. So in here, we'd said kitchen needed to come out. So someone's selling property to another couple. So we'd said kitchen needs to come out so we can do a damp proof all the way around, and then sew these bits out on walls. Guy said he didn't want to take kitchen out. How can we get around it? So what I said, well, as long as people that's buying it knows what's happening, we can go up to units, isolate where units start, where they finish, and when they come to renew the kitchen, they can address the issues after. But, and it was a big but, what I said was, we can't guarantee that there's not going to be any damp smells behind units if the units are touching wall. So they know all this, and they wanted us to still carry on and do it. So we've got to try and fix all these issues around these units, which I'm confident I can do, because I'm guaranteeing it anyway. In here, 300mm from last side's the damp. Again, like I said before, you can see where original plaster goes down below floor line, and they've tiled and concreted and done all sorts up to that plaster and trapped it all in, bridging again down here, and it was what I suspected. So This is original plaster, what's just had a textured finish. And again, bridging issues from tiling, just tile straight up to it. So that's an easy fix. So it's a new DPC above floor level, and then we'll just replaster in accordance with BS 6576, which says that it's got to be a salt neutralizing plaster, and there's many systems on market. Right, so what we're going to come to now is problems that we've had. So they were told what to do. I went for keys to a local estate agent who was supposed to be sorting it out for this guy, and there's just been incompetence. I'm not going to name them, they know who they are, I'm not going to name them. Incompetence on their part. I don't know whether the owner knows. I know owner, but I didn't want to bother him with details. Hoping his staff will sort it out, but it don't look good at his company, and I'll tell you why. So they had a list of stuff. They had a list of stuff from seller, what to do. I went for keys where I picked them up from the when I did report at the office that they've got near here. They'd not got them. So then I got to go back to the other office, which was a few miles away in rush hour traffic, to pick keys up. When I got there, there was one key, just for the front door. I says, is there a back door key? No, this is the only one we've got. All right. And then she says, there's a further problem. I says, well, what's that? Carpets are still down and radiators are still on, which they were supposed to be getting off. I says, right. I says, well, they were told to get them off. She says, we've spoke to a contractor and he said he forgot. He knew we were got to do it and he said he forgot, which I think were a load of fucking bollocks. And I know it was. She says, he'll be here at 11 o'clock. Fair enough. So when he come, I asked him and he says, it's first I've heard about this job. So somebody's lying in between there, and it looks like it's staff. Which again pisses me off, because you know what I mean. It's just like they don't care. They're just working for a company. They don't care. So this should have all been prepped. And we've got jobs booked in after. So it's not like it's last thing I wanted when I've just got back off my holes. What else did I do? So they came. Got carpets up, got radiators off, did a great job. Also, no power. So on our terms and conditions, make sure you've got clean water, toilet and washing facilities, and power electricity. No power. So I phoned them up, what's happening with power? Oh, we don't know. So messing about. They'd all yesterday to get power on. I've just spoke to a lady at estate agents, and she says, well, I tried for 3 hours yesterday, and I couldn't get through. I either couldn't get through or I were on hold and all that. But at the end of the day, there's 8 hours in a day. Should be trying all day to get it on. That's what I'm thinking. So I've just rung her now. She's going to try all today, it's a priority. Why weren't it fucking priority yesterday? That's what I want to know. And we've got joiner coming tomorrow, we've got electrician. I says, it's got to be on. I says, we can manage so far, because we've got cordless type tools. When joiner comes, he's going to want power on. Electrician's going to want power on, because he's fitting fans and he needs to test system. So this is where we are. Incompetence on part of the estate agent, which I'm not going to name because it'd be unfair. But it don't surprise me. It don't surprise me at all. But it's going to fuck us up going forward for our jobs moving forward. So what's going to be the answer? Well, the guy whose property it is will get charged extra waiting time, all bits and bobs. I've spoke to him over email, and he said he knows it's unacceptable. So I'm gonna have to work out end of job how much extra it's gonna be. I ain't charged any extras on the job for I don't know how many years it is. It's quite a few years since I've charged extras on the job. We normally to budget, and if it is just a bit over, I'll let that ride. So unless it's an extra that they've specifically asked for, this is what I'm on about, a specific extra, then we've not charged any for years. Price is normally price at job, but this is going to have to be different because it's just not ready, and then the guy's going to just have to argue with estate agent, see if he can reclaim his costs, because they're supposed to be managing it for him and they were supposed to sort everything out. So my apprentice is at college today, so it's me today. I'm going to carry on knocking off. What else? I'm going to take rubbish, and I've got to. The found. Yeah, so the found. This is other thing that's laughable. So now the estate agents have found a bunch of keys, and she says, "Can you come in and pick them up?" A bunch of keys, right? So it's like, why the fuck weren't keys with key for front door? Again, incompetence. What? It's just ridiculous. And one of the reasons that I need back door open is because we've got to work out there, and if we don't get back door open, we've got to go all the way down road, turn right again down backs, come in through back gate, and that's just unfair for an electrician who's going to have to be in and out. We've got work to do out there. We've got some drilling and injecting, we've got some storm drying, etc, etc. And again, it's all to do with prep. So I just wanted to, keep you up to date what's happening. Didn't do it yesterday because I'd not got time, because I was messing about due to the incompetence of the local estate agent, which I'm not going to name again. Right, so this fire surround, I'm going to take that out. I'm going to find screws, take that one. I'm going to take that one out, just so I can go up to marble. So we can take that off there. Sometimes we'll go up to it, but plaster goes behind that, so I'm going to take it off all the way around. I've got that cupboard to take out best I can. Probably wait while joiner comes, see what he says. So we've got this floor to level up, so it's bouncing in this corner, it's bouncing into the corner. So I'm going to take that out, take floor out, and then have a look at joists, see which ones need splicing, pack them up and just re-level that floor and sort any joists out. I've got some ventilation to put in as well, and that, because at one point this would have had timber all the way through, and then air would have flown all the way through, but it ain't doing. They've done a timber repair on here, so they've obviously had an issue in this corner, and that's because they've only got 2 air vents there. So I'm not sure whether, I think we are putting a subfloor fan in, I think. I'll have to check my paper, but yeah, so yeah, that's my job for today. As well as taking rubbish, I'm gonna hack off a bit more of this, let traffic die down, and then I'll go pick that other key up, see if it fits, like fingers crossed, and then we'll see how we go on. So I'll keep you posted. I'll do another video, put some pictures on, and you can see it, and hopefully you find it interesting. And if you're a contractor, you'll have been in this position, and what I've said is, in our terms and conditions, Ender's report, it states clearly what the customer has to do and what we're going to do. And that's one thing that you need in your quotes or reports. Set out clearly what they need to do, and also put a time frame in. So as well as having, they've got to do this, that and other, set either before work commences or within 2 weeks or whatever. So one of the things that PCA tell us to do is make sure you put a time frame, and there's no argument, is there? What else? So I think that's about it. Yeah, I'll do some pictures and stuff, and I'll see you up next then. DampSam signing off.
Hiya, it's DampSam here. I've just come on just to tell you that DampSam.com is now up and running. We've got the Express damp proofing system course, designed by me, run by me, done by me. You can buy that. We've got the ultimate guide to black mold and condensation. You can pay what you want for it. And we've also got 3 free ebooks. And also we've got a guide to basement conversions, the ultimate guide to damp proofing, and also the podcasting series. You can get in contact with them, and the YouTube membership. Enjoy it rest of your film.
Hi everybody, DampSam on this job in Goldthorpe, and I thought I'd just show you a few more things. Still not got electric on, and it's nearly 3 o'clock, so I'm pissed off. Although they have rung to say it will be on it next hour, which were over an hour ago and it's not on. So I'm going to listen out for it. I mean, I know electric changeovers, and they say can take up to 24 hours, which says there's a code for me. Now, I think it's just a button, and me and codes are a nightmare, because code is normally like got letters and all sorts in, and that just looks like a numbers thing. Anyway, that's not what I want to tell you. And that's not what I've come on to show you. What I'm going on about here. So, when I came to do a survey, said it was a bridging problem, and 100% right. Now, bridging problems come in different scenarios, different types of bridging, basically. So, what I'm going to show you is something that independent surveyors who have never been on a site and have never worked with the materials and never done any plastering, this is where they differ from tradesmen that go into being surveyors. And this is why I bang on about plasterers. Get your qualifications done, come over into preservation side. You're ideal for this type of job because you've worked with materials, and once you've learned how moisture affects walls, world's your oyster. You can earn a fortune, because half of these independent surveyors that I see, and a lot of these that work for companies who's never worked on tools, their reports leave a lot to be desired. And what happens once they've done the report, if the contractor who is doing the job comes across something that's a bit different, something that he doesn't know, then what's he going to do? What systems is he going to use? If he's a good contractor and very experienced, he might be able to pick the right one, but is he going to be able to ring surveyor up and say, you know, this has happened, that's happened? And I'm just going to show you what I mean, because this bit here on bay, I knew it was a stud wall, but I didn't know when I hacked this plaster off, all these bricks here were stuck out, touching timbers and stuff like that, and plasterboard were up against wall. So what I've done, I've had to straighten out straighten out bricks, cut them all down so that board will sit right on there. I still have to take that off, that board, and have a look what's behind there. But that back one's dry, but we've got to take this floor up and level it. What they've done is they've originally got lime plaster on, which in all intents and purposes in places it's fine. There's not wrong with lime stuff. But what's happened is they've had different bits of work done, and they've put bonding on. I mean, you can see it here. So they've had fireplace put in. When they've patched up round fireplace, they've used Carlite bonding. You can see it on the floor there, and that's got sulfate salt contamination from soot and stuff like that that's in chimney. And inside the chimney becoming wet. They've had a wall knocked through here, and then they've patched it up with, again, a bonding plaster. But what they've done as well is, some areas where plaster won't go off, or I don't know what they've done, but they've put skimming on wall. So they've put skimming on wall in areas and then put backing plaster over top of it. Now that used to be a thing when I first started plastering, that I was shown by plasterers that I were with before I started all my damp work. And it was, if it's sliding, you know, put some finish on wall and it'll go off quicker when you put your backing on, and you can rub it up. And it just all shitty tricks like that are already for plasterers who get paid end of that week and they're off. But for somebody who's guaranteeing a job for 10 years, I'll tell you, it's not going to work. So you can see as well, gap between wall and floor, where you've got damp air been coming up and it's blown plaster. So it's blown plaster at bottom, and then moisture's gone onto wall and onto plaster. So just little things like this that independent surveyors haven't got a clue about. We've filled these in. I've filled out. The reason I filled out sides to skirtings once I've got all the stuff out is we'll slice that off, and I know there's not going to be any shit gets in there. And I slice it off, and it's isolated, so that bit's isolated. We've not done drilling and injecting yet, but I thought I went round and just doing this isolating system, just slice that off at bottom, slice it down sides, and board will go in between. You can see how wet that corner is there, and you can see where the lime plaster's been. I'm saying it's wet. I think it's just colour stuff. I mean that. No, that's not wet. We've got sulphate salts on there, and this is where they put finish on wall. All this is finish plaster. So I've got that sorted out. I'm just trying to think of other bridging issues. Again, all these windows have got plastic strips around, so we've got to take them off. And one of the things that I said about plastic strips is there's always a gap, and that's where cold air will come through. There was a gap all the way, when we took plaster off, gap all the way down door. Same on that side. Even if it's sealed on the other side, there'll come a point where holes will begin to appear in mastic, and that's when cold air comes through. I mean, they've done it to them all, so they've even got a tile here. Look at that. But, you know, it's window fitters. Window fitters, they don't get paid to plaster nowadays. They just stick it on. So we've got windows upstairs to do, all filling out with some... It's not Instastick, it's similar to Instastick. Similar to Instastick. So I mean, we're going to be here a few days. I've got a joiner coming tomorrow. I'm just... fingers crossed that this electric's going to come on. But that was one thing that I just wanted to go on about, how a bespoke service, which is kind of what I offer, is one that I'm wanting more and more plasterers, tradespeople, joiners, things like that, to come into this preservation industry and take the place, because they can set up a smaller company. And it's one of the things that I'm kind of beating my drum about with PCA, trying to get them to let smaller companies in, micro companies, rather than ones with a certain amount of employees. Now, I don't know how they're going to do it. I mean, reason I got in, I had to go and take surveying qualifications, and then my company could come in, because your company's got to have somebody who's got these surveying qualifications. But there's no reason why normal plasterers, average intelligence, I'm fucking below average intelligence, I'll tell you that now. And I passed exam because I worked hard and just kept going over it and over it again. But I knew a lot of stuff already, and it interested me because it's stuff that I work with. There were just certain things that I just needed to brush up on, but that were about it. And this is why tradespeople are suited to become surveyors and have their own company. You know, we all organise subbies and organise trades, and we've done it for years. So that's basis of having a company. You just come on site, you just know which trades to come next, and you've got yourself a business. So yeah, I mean, static reports that I see that come through to me are absolutely ridiculous off some independents that around where I am, because they just ain't got a fucking clue about surveying, and they don't know. Well, they've got basic knowledge about surveying, but what they're not doing is, because they're not on site seeing different types of different reasons for the different types of damp, and seeing it every day, and seeing different properties and how different damp issues affect different ages of properties, not just different types of properties. So your older properties, I mean, I've seen it for donkey's years. I've been in construction for 40 years, and there ain't much that I ain't seen, you know, why walls are damp. So when I see these, when I see these reports from so-called independents, and listen, it's not just independents, it's surveyors that work for companies as well that have not done the job. It's not just independents. Yeah, it ain't just independents. It's just that I see a lot of independent reports. I don't see as many contractor reports, although I get a lot of Timberwise, I get a lot of Peter Cox. People will send me them through and ask me opinion on them, and a lot of them are shit as far as I'm concerned, because they only know certain systems, and they will only they'll say, I suspect it's failure at damp proof course. I mean, that if you see that on a building that's got a damp proof course in, a 1930s building, and I see this all the time, I suspect the damp proof course has failed. What a load of bollocks if it's a physical one. It's not going to fail all the way around, is it? All the way around house all at the same time. It might crack in spots, and there might be a bit comes through, but majority of the time it's a bridging issue, and this is what they don't understand. They don't understand bridging issues. They just say it's all failed, and it needs this doing. So that's kind of what I wanted to get off my chest, and just show you that in these older properties, there ain't just one type of dampness. Not all damp is rising. And in here, they haven't been, it's all been bridging. It's all bridging issues. Like I said, down below floor level, you've got damp that's forming up walls below this floor because it's not ventilated properly. You've got sulfate salts on these chimney breasts, on legs, that need an isolation system on them, which we'll sort out. And don't forget, you know what I mean, we're guaranteeing it, so I'll sort it out. You've got some cold thermal bridging, bit of penetrating, wrong type of plaster that's been put on, that's reacting with a cold wall, that's reacting with a solid wall, that's reacting with wall that's got had moisture splashing against it, and like I said, it's not same plaster. Gypsum plaster we've got browning, we've got bonding, we've got finish on brickwork. So where they've put finish on brickwork, I think if you put browning on, might have stood a chance, but if you put finish straight onto brickwork, you've fucking no chance. And this is what people don't understand. This is what a lot of surveyors miss. So yeah, I think that somebody that's been in trade makes a better surveyor than someone that's just been taught it. And I understand where people come from when they're kind of slagging PCA companies off and slagging PCA surveyors off. that's kind of been on courses. The systems that we are taught, there's nothing wrong with them. The systems that we are taught to renovate and put preservation systems in place, or preservate an house. Is that a fucking word? Preservate? Have I made that up? I don't know. I'm getting my thesaurus out and I'm going to have a look. Yeah. People that sort of have an agenda against PCA, and I can understand where they're coming from. And all I'll say is, look at it from this point of view. There's no bad damp proofing systems. There's only bad damp proofers that install the systems wrong. There's no bad PCA surveyors. There's no bad PCA surveying practices. There's just bad surveyors that don't put the practices in place as they should be. I might just take up doing tongue twisters. That might be better. Peter Piper picked a pick of pickled pepper and put piss on a post. I don't know. So there you are. So make of that what you will. I'm trying to show people in these videos how dampness affects properties, older properties and newer properties, in different ways, and try and get it out there that it's not always one fix. It's not just one system that can fix it. You've got to have knowledge of a lot of systems. You've got to have accessibility. You've got to have access to the systems. So keep some in stock, keep them on van, and you've got to be adaptable.
Hiya, DampSam here. Did you know, if you want to watch a full unedited version of this, if you become a Damp fan, $2.99, which is as much as an expensive cup of coffee up here, you can watch a full unedited version of this. Nah, let's get back watching this bit, eh? See you in a bit.
And welcome to this job at Goldthorpe. So we finally got it plastered. I've just come up today to fetch skirting up. That's going to be fitted. It's going to be fitted next Monday, and the reason for that is because there were delays on this job, and John has had to we had to book him in at a later date. So I skimmed it up yesterday, and I don't mind saying it's the first time that I've kind of priced the job up wrong. It should have been a lot more expensive. I kind of underestimated how much actual plastering and stuff that there'd be. One of the problems that we hit is the look in here. So that's sorted. So one of the problems that I came across was the so waterproof that wallpaper. It was an absolute nightmare to get off. There were 4 layers of wallpaper on, and when I come to look at the job, this just, I don't know, I just never noticed it was wallpaper, and it's been a nightmare to get off. But it just took longer than expected. There were delays at the beginning of the job, and it's just took longer than I thought, so my bad, so to say. Window reveals, got isotherm system on, put these beads on. Once joiner's finished, we'll get a final clean, and then and it's ready to hand over to customer. I'll just show you what we did up here. We've got our fans in and everything. I think I've already showed you that. So again, on here, isothermal window reveals, warm them up. Same in here, window reveals. And then there's the isolation system, right top of chimney, and some liquid DPM just on ceiling. There weren't no issues on ceiling, but we've put that on just so there's no, so it don't spread. If they don't get the chimney breast sorted out, because they're down to capping chimney off, but that were all down to them. So let's just fingers crossed they'll do it. I've just got this is one of the things that I've not seen before. So you can see paper here. Never come. I know it happens, but it's the first time I've come across it. So as you can see on top there, no issues whatsoever. But when we were getting paper off, underneath is this patch of black mould. So I've not kind of seen that before. But what we've got to do is, when joiner comes on Monday, we'll bring some anti-mould stuff and treat that. Same with that side. So, but it's rest of it's down to them what they do with paper. But yeah, I've not noticed that before. Normally you'd get mould sat on top of paper, but it must have gone through and condensed on inside and caused that issue. So you're learning, forever learning. So I've come today just to sort it out. Yeah, and one of the things, so we've had some really long days. We had a long day first day because they were delayed, carpets weren't up, radiators weren't off. We got to wait for it. So mess about running for keys. Like I said, local estate agent, what a nightmare. There were no power on. But we kind of got cracked on once we got access to it and got sheeted up and everything. And the second day we're all knocking off. That was like a long day. So the second day I was on my own because apprentice were at college. Third day we were knocking off. But then Thursday, Friday were a long day, so we split it up. And we finished late Friday, and then yesterday, we did all skimming yesterday, and again, another long day. So I'll be glad to see back at this fucker. Once he's got these skittings on, we'll be right, and job will be all finished and ready for customer. So then they can get the carpets down and do whatever. And basically, the guy's selling a house, so he's not bothered. He just wants it damp free and guaranteed, which is what he'll get. I don't know what's happening with decoration, whether that'll be for new people that's buying it, and they've agreed a fee to knock some money off, probably. So once joiners finish, we'll get a final clean, and then that's us sorted. So I'll take some pictures and you can see them at end, and I'll probably take some pictures once skirting's around. So and then you can see what's happened. So it's express damp proofing system, more or less all the way around. Subfloor fans, isolated joists underneath, and everything's sorted. So that's DampSam. Oh, and a pacifier vent in thingy. So we swapped that normal vent for a pacifier vent. So rather than cold air coming in through an air brick, I mean it was freezing in here. It must have been. Now you've got an insulated vent, as well as kitchen, 150 fan in kitchen and 100 fan upstairs, alternating fans, so you get air circulating. Alright, so I'll see you on next one. DampSam signing off. How you doing, DampSam? We're on last day, this job. out at Goldthorpe in Barnsley, Rotherham, whichever you want to say. It's either's on border. Alt skirtings is on now. Joiner's just been. We just rattled skirtings on. Just put cupboard back for electric. This is how we finished it. Problem wise, like I said, we started off this job with problems and we finished. So today, last fuel cuts that Joiner did, power went off. They'd only put so much power on and power went off. So that's a bit of a nightmare. So he's had to do last fuel cuts by hand apparently. So this is all skimmed. It's all dried out nicely. And that's your lot. This what membrane on here, membrane, and that's it. So this is how we finish the job. Other thing is, so because the power's gone off, we normally get a hoover all the way through. So we've just had to brush it. We haven't been able to get hoover on and go upstairs, but they've got carpets to fit and everything. So we've left all plug sockets off at the wall so they can decorate around it. And that's it. Job's finished, and we've just got to work out what extras there is and send him a bill for extras. They've paid for work that for initial work and main body at work, and we've just got extras to work out. So that's it. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you've learned something, and I'll see you up next time. See you in a bit. Bye bye.